Listen, you're listening to Elegbete TV and radio. You are listening to Elegbete TV radio.
Hello, everybody. What's up, people? My name is Timmy Dakula, and you are listening to Elegbete TV Radio. Stay tuned.
Elegbete TV radio. Redefining broadcasting. Listen. You're listening to Elegbete TV and radio. You are listening to Elegbete TV radio.
Let's go! All right, guys, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Idafe Matthew Shogana. You love to comment on Elegbete One of Sports, and it's the Friday edition of the show. This month is the month of December. Like I always say, it's my month, it's the month of my birth. So I kind of like, if you know me, I get a lot goofy in December. Even in my days on radio, like I just deliberately get so goofy, playful. I'm naturally playful, right? I could be very serious, but then I just like to be me. It feels like I own this month. Like I don't care what you people say about Christmas, that's not my business. But I own this month and I like to play. Benedict, what month were you born? Let's start with that first.
All right, let me give you.
You no give don't give me answer my question.
Okay.
Like stone with this I burn you fire. Like, what's wrong with you?
Okay, let me give you my zodiac sign.
Don't give me zodiac sign. I don't do zodiac sign. Answer my question. What month were you born? If you do it, I'll born you.
I'm born in the month after your month.
January.
Yeah, January.
Get out of my side. You give me zodiac sign. I don't do zodiac. I don't even know my own zodiac sign. I'm not interested. Don't tell me. It's not important.
All right.
It doesn't work. I gotta wake up in the morning and begin to people that are born in this place. Shut up. Your destiny is in your hand. It's not in the one Momo star. You can choose to be who you want to be. I'm an example of that. Okay, I read engineering. I'm doing great in broadcasting. I didn't study. It's not about zodiac sign. It's about what you commit yourself to. So leave all those crap it in. Well, good morning to you and good morning to the Friday edition of the Sports Buffet. How are you? How was your night?
My night was fine. Traffic and for scarcity, but we are here.
And the funny thing is, this fuel scarcity is not going to go away.
I thought it wasn't like an artificial thing that would eventually blow
it's
up.
not gonna blow off.
As a last week, I was like, the last time there was fuel scarcity within 3 days, it was all over. I thought this was made
This is not gonna blow off.
Well,
This is not gonna blow off. I have my own conspiracy theory. I have mine, but I'm just gonna like leave it there because I don't have fact to back it up. But this is my conspiracy theory. Dangote refinery is getting close to running now, right?
Yeah.
And Dangote does not have any plan to sell its fuel to Nigerian markets because of the subsidy. Nobody's going to subsidize Dangote's fuel. So what they are now doing is next year, I think the government, before they leave, they will announce subsidy removal. And this is my conspiracy theory. This government, this APC government, somewhere at the back of their mind is believing that their candidates will not win.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I'm not saying 100%, but I'm just saying they are believing that their candidates, blah, blah, blue, blah, blah, blue, blah, blah, blue, is not going to win. And so they cannot set up the next government on insecurity anymore. So what they need to do is to set the next government up with the subsidy problem. This is what it is. Subsidy up to have been removed since Goodluck Jonathan time, but some highly educated illiterate decided to protest, and they were not interested in buying fuel for 97 naira, but now they are happily ready to buy it for 250 plus naira per liter. Now, what they want to do is make life difficult for whoever is coming, whether it's the roasted bolele guy or the obedient guy or anybody who could pull a surprise, Shore the activist or whoever, okay? Somebody asked me the other day who I would have loved to be Nigerian president if I had my way. And I told the guy that the person that I would have given the power to, like if it's a given, first off, democracy is not good for Nigeria. Our biggest problem, the biggest thing that they left for Nigeria is democracy. Look at everybody who succeed with democracy. There are countries, democracy only work when you already have an institutions that are solid and virile. For as long as you don't have solid independent institution, democracy is an interregnum in a country. And I'm not a government student, I'm not a political science student, but anybody can argue against that. But I just want to, this is Friday, everything goes. We're going to talk football. A lot happened in football, and we're going to talk about it. But this is my pitch because somebody sent me a message and I need to answer that. This is my 2 cents on that. Nigeria's biggest problem is democracy. Since we got into democracy, we have experienced more corruption than we ever experienced under military. We've become the most dysfunctional country in terms of anything. I'm not asking for military to come back, no. But if I have the power to give anybody the power, I'll give it to Al Mustafa. Now, and it's strange that I'm saying that, and people would hate me for this, but I'll give it to Al Mustafa because he has more intelligence report. And Al Mustafa is someone that I know personally one-on-one anyway. He's got more intelligence report because during the Abacha government, I don't think that there is any government in Nigeria that have done more reconnaissance of this country, more intelligence gathering of this country than that government, okay? Because he wasn't allowed to fly out of this country, so he was busy, focusing on this country. I think I'll give that person. But I love Obi too, even though sometimes his statistics are annoying. his facts and check facting are annoying, but that's the guy that I'll give.
But so somebody's answer was who you will give. You didn't say who will most likely win.
Who I will give. It's not. That's not about who most likely. Who most likely win is not my business. Let Nigerians vote and decide that. And somebody, Ita sent me a message and said, "And if I saw your diatribe, your conversation on Murphy's page, and you keep insisting that appointing Northerners to NMPC is not the problem of the Niger Delta. Can you please throw more light on that? Because the way you say it every time I go to Murphy's page seems to come across like you know something that I don't know. The Niger Delta have the oil. How come every appointment in NMPC is from the north? And you say it's not a problem of the Niger Delta. I think that if the Niger Delta are allowed to control NMPC, there will be progress there. But I would be open-minded to hear your opinion. Ita, let me explain that to you. Bob Marley in his song, Rat Race says, in the abundance of water, a fool is tasty, right? Niger Delta is the proverbial fool in that statement. Niger Delta people. So I grew up in Warri. I'm a Warri boy, true and true, and I'm very proud of it. As a matter of fact, one of my biggest certificates is I'm a Warri boy. It's bigger than the university degree that I have. It's bigger than the MBA that I have. It's bigger than the UEFA C license coaching badge that I have. Okay. Now let me explain that to you. Of all the 6 geopolitical zones, the Niger Delta is the only region that have a special intervention fund and ministry for them. It's called the Niger Delta Development Commission. Try and follow this narrative a bit, Ita. There is no North Central Development Fund. There is no Northeast Development Fund. There's no Northwest or North, South. And then there is no Southeast and Southwest Development Fund. The only people that have a commission for their development is the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta also have a 30% derivation money that they get every month. Let me use my state, Delta State, or probably Bayelsa. Okay, Because people think that if you appoint Niger Delta people into an NPC, then the region will grow. Bayelsa State, for instance, have a president for 6 years. The road to the village of that president was not made. Delta State, as it is today, and Bayelsa and Rivers and the Niger Delta states get 30% derivation, and every state also have their own offshoot of the NDDC. Like in Delta, you have the Sopadec, and in River State you have the Reeve something. I've forgotten the name now. And Bayelsa also have their own. The question is, between 1999 and now, the Niger Delta Development Commission have been giving more money than NMPC have remitted to the coffers of the federal government. The question you should ask yourself is, what have that commission done with the money? The roads in the Niger Delta are still as bad as it was before democracy came. The development in that region is still shit. The schools, the primary schools, public primary schools, and public secondary schools are still horrible. The healthcare sector in the region are still terrible. We have people who steal money. Julius is from Delta State, the guy who went to the National Assembly and pretended that he was fainting. The other day I went to Warri, we were on the same business class, Epis, yes, we were on the same business class coming back. That man didn't look like he was fainting. That man fainted, and then the whole conversation ended. So if the guy in charge, let's say he even died, would you not probe the office, the office? Is that not somebody that will take over? These are files. It's not about the human being. These are files. There's somebody else that will explain. Did we see any explanation? The matter ended there. And then again, if you are a region that is marginalized, this is what I expect. You have a president for 6 years. I'm not saying that being a president should siphon all the country's money and fix your region, but you should create enough goodwill that some things will just spill over to your side. That's one. But let's leave that, because Obama was a black man and he did nothing for black people. So let's even leave Goodluck Jonathan. But let's talk about constitutional rights. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I'm not a political scientist. Like I always say, I'm not a political analyst, but I have common sense. I'm in Nigeria. I'm a citizen. Okay. And this is common. So let's talk about the whole senators and representative that comes from the Niger Delta region. Politics, nothing is given. You have to wrestle it or you lobby for it. So the people from that region, how many times have you seen them form a quorum and reach across the aisle and say, okay, we need this for our region. We need this development for our region. We want this industry built. We want the seaport in Warri fully functional. We want the seaport. We want a seaport in Bayelsa. We want a seaport in Cross River State or Uyo, whatever. And then we see how it works. And then there's diversion of goods from Lagos to those regions so that there could also be development in that region the way it is. And then we want an international airport that really functions. Okay, not the way Port Harcourt is, that only take flights that are coming from Cameroon or Ghana or the rest. We want a fully functional international airport in the Niger Delta. How many times have you heard them push that conversation? I mean, when Ibori was pushing for 30%, even though Ambassador fought him, but he stood his ground. We all knew that. How many times have you seen that conversation go on? So Niger Delta naturally have this mentality of oppression. Like they've been oppressed so much that they now decide to oppress themselves. So I grew up in Warri where the most number of oil companies were in Delta states. You have NMPC, you have Shell, you have Gulf, which is not Chevron, you have Alibotin, you have Nisco, you have Eagle Latin, you have MBTC, you have Globestar, which is an oil servicing firm, Nisco oil servicing firm. You have a whole lot of them, some that I cannot even remember. You have Panapena, which is a transport company, helping to carry goods all over. They were like DHL, but it's a different type. Okay. And how did we lose it? There was Warri crisis, and then there was kidnapping and all that, and then we lost it. But since that time to now, Globestar Yard is still there. Nobody's using it. NFPC Yard is still there. Nobody's using it. We've not been able to say, okay, let's come together and deal with this security issue so that there'll be jobs again. Companies will be able to come again. There'll be jobs, and our youth that are now arrested, that are kidnapping people, cutting share, raping people, and doing all those things will get jobs and live a good life and learn from the past. No, Globestar was first McDermott, then ETPN, then what's it called? Globestar, for God knows how long. It still looks like the devil's cover. Okay, so it's not about appointment into an NPC. It's about common sense. The people of the region agreeing to be what? Deliberate, intentional, and strategic in developing their region. I hope I have answered your question. I'm not one of people say I'm a sellout. I'm not a sellout, but I like to stand for truth. Okay, appointment is not a given. It's not, if you like, appoint all Niger Delta people into NNPC, Niger Delta will still be a bad place. You know why? The people of that place. Let me give you a very the most annoying part of it. Have you noticed that people would serve 8 years as commissioner in Delta State, take the money and come and buy a house in Lagos or Abuja and be staying in Abuja? How does that happen? Where else do you see that happen? The governor, the former governor of Delta State, as I speak with you, lives in a 3 billion naira mansion in Ikoyi as a governor who presided over Delta State for 8 years. Come on, it's not about appointment. It's about the way you see your region. If we don't see your region as a place where you can develop it and grow it, there's nobody that's going to come do anything for you, no matter the appointment. I mean, the biggest appointment you can ever have is to be the chief executive officer of the state, and that's the governor's appointment. I mean, election, elected into office for 8 years, and you finish. All you do is gather money and go out. Your children run their business in Lagos. Why not make Delta State good enough so that your children can be there? You can also stay there. I mean, that's one of the small respect that I have for Ibori. He's got his own problem anyway. But hey, the show is not a political show. Last night, we saw football turn on its head. Before the group stages of the World Cup started, there is absolutely nobody. And please, nobody should come here and lie to me. There's absolutely nobody that predicted that a group that have Spain, Germany, Costa Rica, and Japan, that after 3 games, Japan will be sitting on top, 2 wins and a loss without a draw, 6 points, and Spain, who started this competition scoring 7 goals against Costa Rica in its first game, will end up second with just only 4 points. Excuse me, guys. Now, it's crazy how that happened, but reality is that it happened. Another group, Group F, E and F, is crazy. If anybody had told you that a group that have Morocco, Croatia, Belgium are the number 2 ranked team coming into this World Cup, and Canada, that this the group stage will end in Group F, and Morocco will sit on top without a defeat, 2 wins and a draw. I don't think anybody would even imagine it in the first place. Like, they would have 7 points. Almighty Croatia, who were silver medalists the last World Cup, would come second with 5 points. And Almighty Belgium, who were bronze medalists in the last World Cup, will be of 4 points. Canada, we can understand. This is not their game. That's so we can understand. Okay? Nobody would have seen that coming. Are we in for such a drama again in Group G and Group F? Take it for granted that Brazil have qualified. Take it for granted that Cameroon are hanging on in a nice edge or a thread, are hanging on a thread right now. But would Ghana beat Portugal by 5 goals to nothing and top the group? And Portugal had this, why is this boy looking at me like, okay, you're not a Chris, Abi? What do you have to say? But that's not the real conversation we're going to have today. So people have been bashing Belgium, wasted golden generation, Bangladesh, golden generation, rubbish, golden generation, lazy players, lazy that. I'm going to bring three countries on the podium. 3 countries. And these 3 countries, none of them have. Okay, one have won the World Cup, but that time it was a time where the World Cup was a Millie Cup, was a T Cup, wasn't a World Cup. It was just, they used to call it Jules Rimet Cup. I mean, Ghana will beat Uruguay. Sorry, not Portugal. Sorry, I was expecting Korea to beat Portugal. That's my mistake. My bad. Sorry. Now, England, Holland, and Belgium. Who's had the most wasted golden generation? Because the attack on Belgium is like, okay, yes, it took them 20 years to build this generation, and you expect them to have won something in 2018. Since 2002, okay, they started, the work on this, start building it gradually. And then 2012, 2014, they were the World Cup. You expected that to happen, nothing happened. And then in 2018, you expected, okay, this is the time. This is the moment. They ended up in 3rd. This one, just shit. They're just rubbish, complete rubbish. But then England have had, if I name the list, it will be like greedy Nigerians who want to use 15 naira to win 1 billion in sports betting. It will be like they're betting slip. The roll call runs from Alan Shearer, Tim Sherwood, John Barnes, Gary Lineker, I'm coming for Gascoigne, Terry Butcher, and then you get into that the one they call the golden generation. The So Campbell.
Where's Peter Crouch going to be in that?
Peter Crouch is not in the golden generation. It's available. Captain Towage, Peter Crouch.
A lot of people say that side. But he has one of the 100 Premier League goals now.
I'm talking of England national team. I'm not talking of Premiership.
All right.
And there are a lot of people who have more than 100 Premier League goals. I'm talking in the English national team.
Okay.
Andy Cole, what's it called? Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Ashley Cole, John Terry, Ruth Ferdinand, So Campbell, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, and all of these guys. Let's never put Nicky Butt in that, Gary Neville, and the rest of them. How that generation, and then the Dutch. Okay, so let's leave the 88 squad because they won the Euro. That's the Ruud Gullit track record, Marco van Basten squad. But let's go forward a bit and talk about the Dennis Beckham, Edwin van der Sar, Danny Blind, Reisiger, Winston Bogarde, Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davies, Patrick Kluivert, Marco Vermars, Van Hoosen, Wim Jonk. The name goes on and on and on and on and on.
Later, Ian Robin at some point.
Ian Robin, yeah, you can put Ian Robin in that one and ask yourself, Belgium, and then Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, and all these guys that are there, who's wasted the most golden generation? Okay, who's wasted the most golden generation in football from, let's say, from 1970 up until now? These are the only three countries that I can pick. I'm not going to pick. There's no other country who's wasted a golden generation. I could have put Nigeria there, but Nigeria does not, measure up in this conversation. Nigeria is not qualified to be in this conversation. So let's look at these countries. That's the conversation. We will say everything else I want to say, but that's the face of the conversation, and I need your comment on it. I wish I could have the professor Precious Omosue, joining on this conversation via phone, but he said he's in transit. Okay, I would have really loved to hear what he's got to say, but hey, whatever, we'll make do what we have. So if you're on YouTube, please let us know what you think. I know that we have a lot of Gen Zs and millennia who doesn't even understand some of these names that I've just mentioned, but it's not just Belgium. For information's sake, so okay, it's not just Belgium that have wasted a golden generation. Up until 2008, Spain also were perennial underachievers and good at wasting golden generation. Oh God, your mom is on my WhatsApp. So let's try to understand that. Let's try to understand that Belgium is not the only country that have wasted a golden generation. Netherlands have been nearly. I think in 2010 with Wesley Sneijder, Ian Robben, De Jong, I think they were robbed. That's my, I might be wrong. I think they were robbed. But England have been having it coming up. And it's not going to ever come home. It's not. England, for those who don't know, England have not even won Euros at any time. They're just there. They're not good enough, but they try to make it look like they're the best. An English coach have not won the English league in 30 years since the Premier League started. An English person does not own a top English club. All the top English clubs are owned by outsiders. And let me take this one. Yeah, hello. And then Precious is here. Hi, good morning. How are you doing as a family?
Very good, thank you. Great show this morning. You have good enough.
Yeah. So I need your professorial touch on this one. England, Holland, Belgium. I mean, this is the first time Belgium had a golden generation. Okay, I agree that 96 they had a generation, but not really golden, led by Enzo Schifo, and they got all the way to the semifinals of the World Cup. But who's wasted the most collection of golden generation between England, Netherlands, and Belgium?
Well, for me, I think if we are ranking them, Belgium will come third on that list. Yeah, because man for man, the third side that had Ruud Gullit, Marco van Basten, Frank Rijkaard, that was a side. What's their defender's name? That was one of the highest scoring defenders of all time, Ronald Koeman.
Ronald Koeman, yeah.
Yeah. So that was a very, very strong side. There was the exceptional Euros, which the exception of Euros, which they won for still on that team. So for me, I think the biggest will be England, to be honest, because there wasn't just one generation; it was continual. It was like one golden generation, supposedly golden generation passing the torch to another golden generation, and they kept on doing absolutely nothing with all of the talent. Yeah, I think the most recent one for England was I think they said that on the achieved at Euro 2004 or so. For me, they said that they think they had for school. They just couldn't get it. I don't know exactly why. They just couldn't get the right blend. I think that for England, if Owen Hartley had managed to get integrated early enough into the national team and somehow stay fit, he could have been that glue that would have fit in the Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard. He could have been that guy that would have thought that really.
So my opinion on England is the fact that the players took their rivalry at club level to national team, and they didn't drop it at the club gate and then come into the national team as one. A good lesson to learn from that is Spain. Spain used to have that, where the Madrid guys and the Barcelona guys never were friends, even at national team. But I think the next generation from the 2008 that won the Euro and 2010 that won the World Cup and then go on to win the Euros again in 2012 learned that we can be enemies at club level, but when it comes to national team, let's do it for country. Let's forget about our difference, okay? And that was what worked for them. So I think it's something that also Belgium is suffered from. There's a very invisible line that divides the black players of Belgium from the white players and the bourgeoisie players of Belgium from the we talked about this in our forum yesterday, and they've not been able to mend that fence, and that has become like one of the major problems for Belgium football. And then for the Netherlands, that's the one that I can't even put my hand. The Netherlands team that went to France 98, I bet my whole life that squad deserved to win the World Cup. I don't know what was wrong with that team. I saw the game they played against Argentina. You see the game against one of the most interesting games of the World Cup against Brazil. Probably fixtures were not good enough for them. I don't know. But even at that, they should have defeated Brazil. And this is not me saying that Brazil was a bad squad in 98. They should have defeated Brazil. And I think that team would have taken France to the cleaners. But unfortunately, that just didn't happen. And then in 2010 again, they had a collection of players that were on fire. Wesley Sneijder, Ian Robben, those guys could unlock any defense, okay? But somehow, with their Houdini-like players, they still didn't win anything. But for England, God forbid.
So for England, I think that to put the club difference aside. I mean, look at the Spanish national team from 2008, they won the Euros. They went to the World Cup in 2010, they won. They went again to the Europe in 2012 and they defended their crown. You could see that the players felt all of the differences. The Barcelona, Real Madrid, they put all of those things aside. And then they won something for their country and then for themselves as well. Yeah. So for England, it just didn't work out at all. I feel that they just, at some point in time, the English national team had to put Steven Gerrard on the plan. So just to accommodate for goals, accommodate for Lampard into the same lineup. And to be honest, sometimes you watch the English national team and it feels like there's this unpronounced quota system that they don't have to feel. We have to play players of certain clubs, of certain regions, and fit them at the same time into the national team. Whether they gel well together or they don't gel well, we just have to do it. Yeah. So, I think that affected the English national team. For the Netherlands, it was just elements. Netherlands team of 98 could have been the team that would break the team. The 3-2 loss to Brazil is, for me, it was hard to chew. The team was entertaining, it was surprising. They took Argentina to the finals. You know, if you watch their game against Argentina in 1998, it looked like they scored, Argentina equalized, and then it was like, oh, so you want to try the abuse?
Yes, you had the audacity to equalize.
With that very, very late. Imagine the kind of composure you would have
under pressure.
Anyone who didn't watch the game between Argentina and the Netherlands tonight, go to YouTube and see that astonishing goal from Dennis Beckham. You know, if you watch Dennis Beckham trap the ball in the Premier League at high school, you need to go see Dennis Beckham do that at the highest stage in the world of in the fourth game, close to the dying embers of the match. For somebody to be that composed to bring the ball down from the air. Look at the composure to beat, I think it was Ayala or Patrick Chapman. Look at the composure to put the ball, what we call the speedy balance. So put the ball in there and then put the ball all in the table. I think it was like 3 moves in one.
Yeah, 3 moves in one.
That was pure talent. You don't teach that in the football academy. That was pure talent. And then when eventually they fell to a Brazil side, who I feel were, I think, deservedly lost to France in the final. They were not all that in that tournament. Let's not forget that Brazil in that tournament lost their third match of the group stage to Norway.
Yeah, they lost to Norway 2-1. Yeah.
Denmark, who are taking Nigeria to the second round, also took Brazil all the way. I think Brazil managed to win, 3-2 or so. So that Brazil team was there for the next spot. Anyway, how did the Netherlands try to lose to them? No surprises. But then I think that sometimes in football, some of all these elements don't just work in your favor. If you recall, as Gary Neville's commentary in 2012 when Chelsea was the champion in the semi-final weapon and the Torres put the ball in the back of the net at the camp, so he said it is written in the stars. And then sometimes you can just tell that, hey, it's just not going to happen for this. So I think that we were just unfortunate to long of the top fraud. Yeah, the same fraud that everybody wants in the last ball comment as well. Top fraud, yeah, but then it just didn't happen for them. It's going to take some time for the Netherlands to refuse that kind of squad. I don't think that looking at the current pipeline they have, right now, I think the most promising player they have is Cody Gakpo. I don't think they have that very, very talented board. But it's going to be a long time before you have players like Valentino, Edgar Davis, then Beckham, Patrick Kluivert, Denton, Makobama, Japsam, Edwin van der Sar, Van Bronckhorst, Philippe. It's going to take a very long time before you have that collection of players in the same squad. But I think that the way they can get back there gradually to go back to the Ajax setup that produced a very, very wonderful chain of players. Go back and try to work on the conveyor belt that produced that talent. Yeah, but to be very, very honest, I think that generally, let's not be compared to the Netherlands or even to the Belgian team, the quality of football is at an all-time low. The kind of players you used to have back in the day. Yeah. So back in the day, if you look at the World Player of the Year list, even from Real Madrid alone, to find players that would deserve to win the award. But these days, we already know who's going to win the award before time. The competition is not even close. So, on a general scale, I think the talent level has dropped. Yeah. So, we just have to ensure it's a follow football that we have right now. The scientific sport that we have right now, just have to ensure it for a long time. We are all, occasionally we'll have the exceptional players winning stuff for their country, but man, it's hard to see that level of consistency from any country. I think for Belgium, it is done. This generation messed up. And one of their biggest challenges was the mental problem. I think apart from all of the biases, internal team ramblings that they had, there was none of these bonds that would say this guy will pick a game by the scruff of the neck and win it for the team. Yeah. But yes, there was Eden Hazard did exceptionally well for Chelsea, winning the Premier League title for them. But look at the Champions League return. The Champions League, where you needed a player like that to stand up and be counted, he was always the found wanted. Look at Kevin De Bruyne. It's no surprise that whenever it was close time for Manchester City, look at the final game of last season.
I always tell you that he's not the guy to bank. I can't bank on Kevin.
Yeah, exactly.
I always told you
that. Wanted the guy. Pep needed to come and he can go down from the bench, to drag City back into contention. So I think that it was more of a mental problem for Belgium. Yeah, and I think it's done. Supposedly the golden generation is done and dusted for them. Yeah, so maybe we'll have to wait for a long time to see them try to replace the title, the status that they are.
All right, thank you very much, Professor Precious Somosuwe, for that one. I needed somebody to give me a top touch, and it's delivered. Thank you very much for your time on the show today. Well, guys, you can still call in and put in your two bits on the conversation. Which country have wasted the most golden generation between England, the Netherlands, and currently Belgium? And I saw somebody mention Spain. So let me educate that person a bit. Spain is actually the only country in Europe that have used its golden generation the best way, better than any other country, better than France, who won the World Cup in '98 and then go on to win the Euros in 2000. If you look in Spain, they won the Euros, won the World Cup in between, and in this transition, they changed coaches, okay? And then they went on to win the Euros again. So that's a complete use of the golden generation. Nobody's done it better. Let me read messages starting from Instagram, and then I will come to YouTube. Yeah, Remila Koduni, aka the Emperor, say good morning. Good morning to you. Amadou 19 is say good morning, boss. Good morning to you. Watching from National Stadium, Lagos. Thank you very much for that. My regards to everybody there. If you are the Legacy pitch, please say my greetings to all the people that are playing football there. My special regards to them. Said happy new month, boss. Happy new month to you as well. Step Manik, the guy who is always shouting from top of the hills. I don't know why he's always in caps, but I guess that's what makes him unique. He said, Elevator Japan have finally destroyed me. I did not listen to your advice yesterday. I still go back. In fact, I got drip and 2 injections yesterday. You want to kill yourself, just go and jump over Turbulent Bridge. Okay? It's an easy way you will make a good news. Don't put it on football. I mean, I told you yesterday. I mean, why is it this? I told you yesterday, but you want that money. You want to go from, that thing I always say, people want to go from being a conductor to be Dangote overnight. It's never going to happen. Not even sports betting will make that happen for you. So nowhere, there are places where there are winnings. Come to think of it. I mean, bet companies need to make money so that the company will be there. So it is in competition like this that they make all their money, because there are some people who are addicted to betting. I don't think I can be addicted to anything anymore. Maybe water. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have addiction. I don't have addiction even to people. Nah, I'm not that kind of guy. Ramila Koduni says, next time Japan they play, now second half I go on TV. I like that. Japan is the second half team. Come on. Stephanic say, I be shop plug if you need kerosene. Do people still use kerosene?
People do use kerosene.
People still use kerosene?
Yeah, they do.
To do what?
To cook now. You're living on the mainland now.
No. Gas is everywhere. That's why. Gas. People still use stove. I've not seen anybody I've not gone out and then I'm coming. I'm seeing somebody buying stove. Well, how did they use it? Firewood?
No, they use some people still use the how would I put it? The thing that you pour it inside, and then it starts the fire on its own. That actually comes in form of gas, but it's just kerosene. That one, yes. That I don't know how to really explain it now.
I don't know that one, Sha.
And people use coal too.
No, coal will always be there. I'm looking for a coal pot. It's just because I'm living upstairs. If I was living on the ground floor, but I'm not on the ground floor. If I was living on the ground floor, I would have had a coal pot. I like coal pot cooking something. There are some things you just want to cook. So apart from talking sports, my other passion is cooking. And a lot of people don't know that. I love to cook a lot. Like cooking, I just tell my wife, hey babe, I want to go to the market, I like that feel of going to the market, buy things. How much is this one? How much is that one? Buy them, come together, and then set it up. There's a way I like to cook. I will arrange all the ingredients that I want to use to cook. I know that, okay, let's say if it's a fry, I know the onion goes first, the pepper goes next, tomato goes next, all the other things go, then the spices, the whatever goes. So I like to cook. I just really love to cook. That's why I keep telling people that when it's time for me to build my own house, I'm going to be very detailed about 3 places: my bedroom, the living room, and then the kitchen. Like, hey, but that's supposed to be for your wife. I'm like, nah. I want my kitchen in a particular kind of way. Like when I go to people's houses, and I've been to a lot of like top notch, whether footballers, whether super rich people, ex-governors, ex-ministers, top people, and I look at their houses and I was like, who built this house for you? Because the kitchen, they kind of like build the kitchen like it's their house self that is going to cook there, not their wife or them. Like sometimes they roll up their sleeves and go to that kitchen and cook. Yeah, like it's your domain. You know, hey, let's keep our fingers crossed.
When I was young, I learned how not to fantasize other people's houses because
I don't fantasize people's house. I just don't like some things that I see. But I have a fantasy of how I want my house to be. When I was in Brilla, I used to say that I like a casino table to be our studio. I don't like the way every studio you go to is just a rectangle. I don't like it. Like I want a studio, like my studio, the picture of the studio that I have if I'm building a studio is a dome. It's an octagon, right? I'm definitely going to achieve that one by the grace of God. And so when it was time for me to do, that's why this table is like this. This is a deliberate thing, that a picture that I have in my head like since 2010 or so, 2010-ish. Like, I mean, this is how I want my table to be, you know. And so you just have you fantasize about your own. I don't care about another person's property. It's not my business. But sometimes you just look at it and it's like, oh, what's up? What's this? Somebody said, I be shop plug if you need kerosene. Or I dey sell kerosene, but I don't get plug for fuel. Okay, so for those of you who need kerosene, you have to follow Step Money 2. Okay, Step STEPMONIC 2 on Instagram, and I guess it's on Twitter too. You can order for your kerosene. Kerosene that made me trek the whole of Warri. I don't know. I can't say I have PTSD when I hear kerosene, but I'm close. Rameleko Oduni say yes. So Morocco surprised me. Now they have Tobato Spain, or beat Spain. Rameleko now went on to say, I hope it will not end in pain. It's definitely will end in pain for somebody. And Ghana versus Uruguay. Sorry when I said Ghana versus Portugal. Sorry, it's Ghana versus Uruguay. Precious Semenike 001. He said, boss, you are good as a sports, good as a life coach, as well also in politics. Good one from you. I'm not good in politics. I really don't understand all the details of politics, but I just understand what common sense is. I just understand what common sense is. Precious Semenike, bros. Leave England, though. Most of the players we see as world class are not. I will say Belgian generation was the worst not to win any team, if I think it's England anyway, but I respect your opinion. It said Belgium has wasted a golden generation the most. Ebo Desmond say, Ebo, are you from Warri? Ebo Desmond says, now England, though. Johnson, Chris Truck says, now Netherlands. Oh God. Cars underscore 347 live. I'm smiling. See, this is the fine Polo Raf t-shirt that Cars bought for me, and I'm wearing the jean as well. It's so lovely. I'm going to my children's graduation. I think it's the Dutch team and England team of 2002. Yeah. Everyone that's what saying England. Remila Koduni say England, then Holland. Okay. Johnson Christoph said, in ranking, number 1, Netherlands, number 2, Belgium, number 3, Spain. What is Spain finding in your ranking? My top 3 golden wasted generation team in football. You can't put Spain there. Spain is the country that used their golden generation the best, unless you were born 2 days ago. Rameleko is say Paul, Steven G, Lapa, Rooney, Owen, Beckham, Omo. Yeah, and then he went and said Spain won the World Cup. Oh, don't mind that guy. They just won. I just started to follow football recently. Won the Euros too. Kazan has got 347. See the Dutch team of 1998. Man, that team, I was absolutely certain they were the winners of the World Cup before the first ball was kicked. But then it didn't happen. Johnson Chris Trucker say it is Netherlands, Belgium, the English, not Spain. Okay, it's corrected himself. Remy Lekonduni, you say Ashley Cole, Ferdinand, Neville, and then went to say for him it is Holland, England, and Belgium. Okay, Remy Lekonduni say, with all this beef and misunderstandings between players in the dressing room, do you think a coach could actually have a say or control in the kinds of standard? I don't think so, because I played with a guy one time. I played with a guy one time in midfield, right? So I was playing wide, he was in midfield. And he gets the ball. On 3 occasions, I dashed, which is what a winger is supposed to do. You know, when that ball comes to that midfielder and you're holding the line, I dashed because the 2 center back have not dropped deep. I dashed and there was gap. He turned and passed the ball to the number 4. And it was just a sideways pass. Second time again, he got the ball. He saw me. I gave him sign. I dashed again. He gave the ball. The third one, he did it, no problem. At this time I didn't bother to move. I was not thinking maybe he likes to play ball to leg. So let me not run. I stood. He didn't give me the ball. So I knew he had something for me. I didn't bother. I now, I stopped hogging the lines. I always get the ball. I don't know why I always get the ball. So I got the ball and he made his move. I was supposed to just play it through. I took the ball. I conte. I just raised my leg like this. The guy, I conte the ball. And I passed the ball backward. Again, I came in, I got the ball, I called for the ball. I will always call for ball. I'm not that guy who say keep quiet. No. I called for the ball, I got the ball again, and he made a decoy behind me to the wing for my side. And then the defender that was marking me had not been sucked in by my move. So there was free space. And even if I give him, I might end up receiving the ball to score, you know. So I raised my leg like I want to give to him. I rolled my leg over the ball and I went inside. I passed back. I passed to the full. I just hit it to the fullback. The guy shouted. I said, "It is not necessary that I give you the ball." The guy, he didn't understand. He came, he hurt my shirt. I was like, "It's not necessary that you give me." I said, "It is not necessary. You are so useless. I'm not seeing you. I'm invisible. I'm not seeing you." So at that time, when I got to the dressing room, we punched each other. And I told him, I said, "Listen, you had the ball 3 times. I made a dash. You saw me and you refused to give me. I am not that kind of guy who know how to take it for the team. I need to show you how stupid that thing you've done." So next time, second half, we both combined to score 4 goals. We both, second half, after all those 5 bloody nose, you know, the coach not talk one thing. Coach, there's no concern. We both combined to score 4 goals and one that we're losing 2-0 because the first half we just considered to lose. Second half, the coach just told us, go back inside that game and fix whatever problem you guys are battling about. I don't know if you are fighting over a lady, but we need to win this game. And we both combined. He created the assist for my 2 goals. I created the assist for his 2 goals. And we eventually became friends. He's a Swedish boy. And we became friends going forward on it. Okay. He also stopped his career. He's not a media practitioner too. He also stopped his career due to injury. But what I'm saying is sometimes we don't necessarily need to be friends to get the job done. Like I worked in Brill FM and I wasn't friends with the people that I work with. Almost everybody that I work with was putting a bet on me that I wasn't going to last 1 month or 2 months on that, you know. So we don't have to be friends, but being friends makes the job sweeter and easier and slow. This England generation, golden generation, they were not friends. Even up till now, they are still not friends. The old generation, they are still enemies to each other. You could see the disdain with which the Manchester United group talk to the Liverpool group, the Chelsea group. Like they still that disdain, that disconnect. And if you look at the Belgian players too, it's the same thing. I don't know what up with the Netherlands thing. I don't know what's up. I can't even see a body language of disunity, but they just didn't get it. But if we're friends, when I worked at ITV, I understood what being friends and family really means. I worked at ITV for like 3 years. In that 2.5 years, going to 3 years, was the best time ever in any work environment that I worked. We were practically family. There was no age. The only person who acted differently was Fela Bankolimo. Every other person, the late Deji Tinubu, Deji Omotoyibo, Bode Oguntui, Shola Ekpeko is the commissioner, Chairman Lagos State Sports Commission, Temisa Nokome, the best boss I've ever worked with, Biola Kazimu, still my brother to this very day, Bada Akintunde Johnson, Kibati Bankole, who turned out to become my sister, Tenga Onojaife, who, incidentally, I've been my cousin all my life. I didn't know. I went to the same church with her, House on the Rock. I just found out recently that she's my cousin. Like I didn't know that, but we met at ITV and what because that environment created an environment of friendship. If ITV didn't fold up, there's multi choice for not come on Nigeria. Because the kind of environment we created in that place, that's the kind of thing I'm trying to replicate here now, but it's not easy, you know. So I think the problem with those golden generation is they took for granted what being friends or overlooking our individual differences really represent, and it affected their team greatly. I mean, it's sad, but it's what it is. Okay. Cars underscore 347 said Patrick Kluivert was one player we forgot in a hurry. That's the guy that kept keeping Kanuak on the bench at Ajax. Remember, said with all the beef and misunderstandings between this player. Okay, I think I've answered that one already. Remember, mentioned the kind. That one let's come on. That one no, they will fall into the good generation. So Vicky said the Brania and Lukaku should be held accountable for Belgium. I said, no, you can't hold one person. It's the whole team. It's a team game. Okay. Akbas Baba 82 said I would like it or not. We must definitely agree that this World Cup is full of surprises. One of the best for me, one of the best World Cup that I've seen. Remind me of 2002. They should stop hosting the World Cup in Europe and South America. They should be hosting it in all these strange countries, and the surprises will come. Said, yes, I like it. I like 2002, one of my favorite World Cup, and I like this one as well. He said, Mingo Bros, I was in Ughelli because of my sick dad. That's why I have not been here. I love this tournament. Thank you very much, and may God heal your dad. Savik said, please, which golden generation does England has? You mean those average players? For me, it's Belgium with all the rating, yet nothing to tell Papa Charlie about. No, let's be very honest. England had a golden generation.
No, he's talking about the current squad, right?
No, not the current squad. That England had. That's why I use the word had. England had a golden generation. David Beckham was the best white player of his generation. Pascal is one of the best ball passer of his generation. Steven Gerrard is one of the best midfielder. He's a player that was wanted everywhere. He just didn't leave Liverpool. Frank Lampard, the same thing. So Campbell is a man mountain of a defender. You could push it wide. Ashley Cole was one of the best left fullback of his generation as well. So you can't. Owen, Wayne Rooney, and this guy's a golden generation. So I can't sit here and agree with you that they are not good. They're not average players. Let's call it what it is. They just didn't deliver. Papa Jamil, you said did Japan really win? Isn't that match fixing? No, it's not match fixing. Come on. The ball he never crossed the line. Already crossed the line now. Abi, is there something I don't understand? So, is it 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, Manchester City won the Premier League because of a ball that did not cross the line. That season that they topped the league by what they won the league by 1 point. Yes. It was a game. There was a couple of games before the end of the season where there was a goal line clearance by Walker. Against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at that ball, it was just a fragment. They said the whole ball must cross the line. Remember that the current ball that we're using, there is a chip on that ball. So when you look at it, a fragment of the ball is still on the line. It means it has not crossed the line. We can argue from a position of emotion and sentiment, but truth be told, I asked somebody, I said, if you use a ruler, put it on the edge of that line and run the ruler, would the ruler touch the ball? The guy said yes.
After me, I felt that ball went out entirely.
No, it did not.
From my naked eye, I see
from your naked eye, but you don't have a 500 frame per second view. Nobody have that in their naked eyes. Your 2020 vision does not have a 500 frame per second view. And that's the computer that judged that the ball had not crossed the line. Are you going to argue against superior facts? No. I don't know. The emotions of football fans, I can understand. But superior fact says by the measure of 500 frame pixel per second, that ball had not crossed the line. There's nothing anybody's going to argue on that one. We can argue emotionally and sentimentally, but the truth of the matter is the ball had not crossed the line. It had not crossed the line. Japan, which match fixing? We're fixing match for Japan against Germany. No. I mean, it doesn't even make sense in the first place. Japan were valued for their progress. Airborne Desmond, he said, I be a cool warrior. Yeah, I could tell because of the name. He said, why Una they add Spain for this list? I don't understand. Spain? The only team where they give us joy in Spain. Okay.
But at some point yesterday, both Spain and Germany were out of the competition.
Yeah, at some point they were out. My Facebook babies, my Facebook wife is here. Ugufaya Maria, help me if I was by Edison and a bit. It's England with all the overhype from their media. Yes, I think so too. So Vicky, he said another team is Gullit, Rijkaard, Marco Van Basten, Seedorf, and Davies. So they didn't play together. This generation they play together. You're missing two different generations up right now. Remela can say Lukaku will not forget yesterday game in a hurry. Nobody would. Saviki, he said their generation somehow won European trophy in 1988. If not, I would have regarded the team as a wasted generation. Edgar Davids and Clarence Seedorf were not in that generation. They've not even started playing for the Dutch national team at that time. Ian Betango, the same money boss money to you. Yesterday match was mind-blowing. The pressure was overwhelming. But the second goal of Japan shocked me. I actually doubt the goal. It was off the line before crossing. Enough of surprise. No, it didn't cross the line. Remila Koduni, you say Kiba Timbankole. I love listening to Football Crossfire show then. Yeah, wonderful girl. Amazing hustler when it comes to not giving up. She's an amazing diva. Yamiti, he said England wasted 3 generations. I agree with you. Holland wasted 2 generations. Belgium wasted 1 generation. For me, the problem for all the 3 mentioned are them hiring wrong coaches for those generations. Was it really about wrong coaches? I don't think England was about wrong coaches because England, for instance, let's do with Wenger and Eriksson.
But also they made some kind of mistakes with Emil Heskey and Michael Owen. There were some kind of mistakes in the team there.
Well, if that's what you think.
Until they knew that Steven Gerrard was to play 4 and Lamba was to play full, they were making a lot of mistakes there in England.
When things don't go well, everybody said the mistake. Spain don't have friends as well. You remember dealt with that part. Real Madrid and Barcelona rivalry, but when they enter Spain camp, they put differences aside. England issues are mental and burden plus wrong coaches. I don't think that England had wrong coaches. I think they had a good collection of coaches. They also had Sir Bobby Robson one time. England have a mentality problem, but I also know, being that I've lived in England and I've seen that thing where, take for instance, John Terry's entire family support West Ham. Because of football, his family hates him. That's how the football culture in England is. It's not like that in most other countries. In England, your uncle will not buy you Christmas gift if your uncle is an Arsenal fan and you are a sports fan. And it will proudly say that I can't use my money to buy you a gift. You are a sports fan, go and get your gift, your Christmas gift from sports.
On Christmas Day, more than 40,000 people are watching a game rather than celebrating.
You understand? So the football culture in England, let's not overlook that part. I lived in England, so I can say this for free. Let's not overlook that part and pretend like that part does not exist. People, there is a divide, there is a wall in their own houses. That divide is also what goes to the national team. Because when you grow up with that divide, it's like most Nigerian children now that are growing abroad. The reason why they will not like Nigeria is not because they experience anything negative in Nigeria. It's because their parents will keep filling them with negative story about Nigeria from a very young age. Tell them lies, things that didn't happen, and they will lie. Tell them that Nigeria is a country where you have witchcraft, evil people, blah, blah, blah. Take, for instance, the story that Victor Moses told, that his mother and father were beheaded in Kaduna riot. It's a more believable story, like the India beating Nigeria 99-1. Okay, Otto Nabalogu boss his brother Bele was shot. There is nobody out there in Europe who knows that just at Pinot Beach here, Friday River, the father of Victor Moses is still alive. Right? So sometimes that divide that I've been told, that have been built over time, stays more in the heads of people, and then they work with them. Let's not forget that there's a zombie virus out there. And even before the zombie virus is used by Russia at any given time, people have submitted themselves to be zombies. People have. If you go to church, that's zombie virus. If you go to any religious house, that's you subjecting yourself to zombie virus. People don't ask questions. So it's the same thing with sports. Somebody will tell you, somebody will break up with his girlfriend because his girlfriend says that Ronaldo is not good. Ronaldo don't know you. You're breaking up with your girlfriend. How does it connect? People have stabbed their friends because you support Man United and I support Barcelona. And Barcelona win Man United, and then there's a fight between us that are friends that could do business together and grow together. Man United don't know us. So, you understand that kind of thing? So the zombie virus is up in the air, even whether Russia uses it or they don't use it. So it's just what it is. And I mean, as a Christian, he said one thing that I have seen in the World Cup is that African teams are coming of age. They just need to be more brave to play football. For your question, I will pick England.
Let me ask you a question, boss.
Yep.
What is the greatest, just assume, 1 to 3 man team you've ever seen?
1 to 3 man team, I don't understand.
Like, there are only 3 crucial players, like 1 to 3 crucial players. I'm not going to say
greatest football team that I've seen.
Yeah.
National team or club?
National team.
National team, Brazil's 1970 World Cup winning team.
Who are the highlights? Major highlights.
Everybody in that squad. Everybody in that squad was good. So what makes a team great is the efficiency. My coach will say what you need is for everybody in the squad to play above 50%. If everybody is giving 75%, there is no opposition in the world that can stop them. And then if everybody rises up to 100%, they become unbeatable. At club level, the team that achieved that was AC Milan. The AC Milan team that ran from 1986 to 1990 was 100% team. Even though there were 3 players in that squad that were doing marvelously well. But there's some other players that people don't give credit for. The Barresis of this world, the Paulo Maldinos of this world, who for me, my all-time greatest defender is Paulo Maldini. Because it transcended generation, it actually changed the game of football. But if it's a national team, the 1970 World Cup winning Brazilian team, God, that squad will beat any squad that have ever played football at national level. They will beat them hands, like they will shell them hands down and not even sweat.
So,
that's
yes, I get that. But here's what I really meant. Like Ireland for a long time, Robbie Keane was their go-to man. You understand? That's the kind of thing I'm saying.
Robbie Keane, Kevin Kiban.
That kind of thing. Just those 3 players. Like you were going for a long time with Luis Suarez, Cavani.
Okay, so for me, let me explain this for you. For me, I don't even like that kind of a thing.
I know, I'm a team person.
So I'm a team person. I want to see everybody come to the party, and that's why I've always fallen in love with Brazil. Because no matter how many striker Brazil produce, you will still see a Roberto Carlos as a left fullback, a Cafu as a right fullback, a Adair or Junior Baiano or Sampaio or Thiago Silva, and they hold their own. David Luiz, they hold their own there, and then in midfield, everybody. That's what makes a team. I've been a coach. You're not going to understand my kinetics when it comes to football because but as I've been a fan of, I've been a coach. I've also owned a football club that ran from amateur to pro. I'm not looking out for one-star player because they will hold you to ransom.
Sure.
That's what Cristiano Ronaldo is doing to people. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a team where everybody can play so that if my 3-star players are injured, you are even in more danger. That's why people like Japan are very dangerous. You really don't know who to stop. You don't know who to stop. Who are you stopping in Japan team? Wait, strategically, who are you tactically say, this is the guy to stop in Japan? No, nobody.
Very, very. Even to me,
the entire team is efficient. That's why I love the 2004 Greece team. That's not a person in the Greece team that you want to stop. Everybody was good. Croatia team of 1998, even though they didn't win the World Cup, that's how I want football to be played. I like the France 98 team as well. People say Zidane was the kingpin of that team. Up until the final, Zidane was shit. Zidane even picked up a record in that World Cup that a lot of people didn't remember. But the thing is, from Fabien Barthez to Lilian Thuram, Bizanto Lizarazu, Frank Leboeuf, Desailly, Patrick Vieira, Didier Deschamps, Emmanuel Petit, who comes on the bench, Zinedine Zidane, Thierry Henry, Christophe Dugarry, Christian Karimbiu, everybody, when they show up, Thierry Henry, David Trezeguet won 1998, was okay. 2000. The other guy that they took, Christian, that's what they're number 9 that doesn't know how to play football. I mean, it's a World Cup and they picked him and dropped Anelka. And all of those things, when the whole squad can come together and play, that's what I like. And that's what the Brazil team of 1970 was. I don't do a three-man group.
But what's the best you've seen?
The best 3-man team?
Yeah.
Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and Neymar.
The rest of them were not.
They were good, but those 3, There's no trio in football that have matched or come close.
All right.
The best three players together in a team. And then the next that come close is Marco van Basten, Ruud Gullit, and Frank Rijkaard. Those guys, incredible. I beg go make an arbitrary go. I pray so with plenty goals as well. Thanks for the correction. Over Ebo, that's what they say. The way Spain they played Japan for first half, we believe 100% say they'll go win. Okay. Monaco Max say hi, Legote. Good morning to you, bro. Ramila Cordoni say it's December already. I can't wait for the EPL to return. They are returning on my birthday. Most of my Chelsea fans don't do the smart. Jesus Christ.
Watch World Cup. You're waiting for Premier League.
Don't do the smart these days. God, enemy of progress. Saviki, somebody's onto you guys. So Unamdi.Roland, he say we thought for which generation? Sylvia Whitton for which generation? France 98. Upcoming player, and I know he never did that score. Saviki, he said, unfortunately, the 1990 Brazilian team did not win the World Cup. For me, it's 1994 squad they despised. Okay, Germany in the final with ease. 1994 squad not play Germany. 1994 play against Italy in the final. They won on penalty. I don't know the World Cup you're talking about, Shaif. Now football, we're talking about two different competitions. Right, let me go to YouTube as you guys it's going to be 90 minutes for this, so there's plenty of time. The line I just said, trumpet, microphone, we are here. Okay. Additional love for my say good morning, Elegote TV family, good morning to you. Akingbala Larry say good morning to you. Additional love for my wanted to say Senegal should do the needful. They have no choice to lose. They will beat England. Additional love for my say I hope we will have 3 African teams in the second round at the close of today. This will be the first time it would ever happen. We had 2 in Brazil. Okay, yeah, and I'm thinking we're going to have that. Somebody asked me a question, would Nigeria have done well at this World Cup? And my answer is an emphatic no. Nigeria would have flopped. Nigeria would have come last in their group. Whatever group they put them in this World Cup, even if they put them in that group that have England, they still would have flopped. Okay? Additional for my Netherlands and Belgium have wasted the most golden generation. Netherlands ranks as my number 1. Additional for my said the only bad one with Belgium is they have not even won cup. Them aware of them. Okay. Additional for myself for England, though, their own is on a different level. They claim to start football, yet they have only 1 trophy. So with over how many generations now 1 World Cup they fit talk of. Okay. People are say England arguably is the country with the most wasted golden generation in football. Lord Mayor say greetings, boss, greetings to you. Johnny Gafar, my brother, he says Belgium trusted their golden generation in the hands of a relegation battling coach. Jesus Christ. This guy have bad maths. This guy have bad maths. It looks like somebody who hang out with friends in a beer parlor, in a pub. You see, that's where you get all this kind of one-liner, this kind of phrase that you're supposed to put in the rap music. In his hand, taking his head, trusted golden generation. So relegation battling coach. That kind of rap line that makes you feel like, where did you get that from? Okay. Lord Mayor, I said Belgium safe, na small. Netherlands, na him suffer pass. Yeah, me dynamite, my sis. How you know you said tanga this Friday because Belgium did prove to us they lack no drive yesterday. Okay. I don't understand that, Sha. Will Spain get to semi-finals with what you saw yesterday, sir? The thing about football is when you get to the knockout stage, the game just changes. That I know because I've seen teams. Chelsea 2012 is a good example. I've seen teams struggle through the group. Italy in 1994 is another good example. I've seen teams struggle through qualifying from the group, and once they do, they're on fire. There's a different arrangement. The thing with group stage, you don't use group stage to judge knockout stages. It's never worked well, right? So I'm not going to be able to say they cannot. I think they have the potential. They're in the competition right now. They're in the ballot, so they have a chance to win just like any other person. Like I said, Japan was so good. They only lost focus against Costa Rica. Spain was overrun by Japan with counterattack. I mean, myself, you are very right on that too. I did some extra job at stadium. The moment they ask you the club you support, the Fino patronize you on that. They don't joke with their sentiment. I'm telling you, it happens a whole lot in England. It's a crazy thing. In England, well, England, the culture. If you've not been to England and you are like in Africa or any other part of the world and you're judging England, the way you would say it, if I'm listening to you, I would already know that there is more ignorance in this talk than fact. England, the way English people see football is different from, I mean, Johnny Jaffa will attest to this. It's different from how we see football here. And that's why I say we don't have football culture in Nigeria. But when I say, you shouldn't be saying that. We don't. We just have football politics. We don't have football culture. Football culture is it's different. Okay. Yemi Dynamite says Japan and Morocco have been giving me joy in the World Cup, and I hope they can keep on going. I just hope that one new team goes on to win the World Cup. Okay, even though at the beginning I wanted to see Brazil and Argentina in the final, now I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. Okay. Shonipo Okwayami says, good morning, Elebote. Good morning to you. I am looking forward to Ghana versus Uruguay match. I would be so glad to see Ghana take revenge. Revenge does not work in football. Every time you're looking for revenge, you end up losing. So these Ghana players should not be burdened with the pressure of what Asamoah Gyan and his team missed, the penalty that they missed. There's no revenge. It was Ghana that missed the penalty. It wasn't as if Suarez used his hand to block the ball. The referee did not see it, and that revenge was already given. They were punished. Suarez was given red card, and that's gone. So Africans should stop all this emotional blackmail. Stop it, okay? There's no revenge coming anywhere. Simon Campbell says, Elebote, you are forgetting Rivaldo, Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho. They didn't play for long, so I can't even put that together in the conversation of Neymar, Messi. Those guys play 7 games together. So, and then they went on to play another 7 games together at the Copa. You can't put that in the Messi, Neymar. The 3 people combined who almost scored 300 goals. I mean, combined in the distance that they stayed together, they scored about 700 and something goals. You can't even compare them. I did not forget them, but they're not in the conversation for 3 players that led the team. They said I should pick one. They said I should pick options. And the best of them, the best of the best is the MSN. Those guys were on a different level. The Rivaldo, Ronaldo, they won the 2002 World Cup, yes, but hey, Rabelaka, he said, and why are Ghana fans asking Suarez to apologize? No. I think there was a whole lot of foolishness in that demand. And again, it goes back to the African loving self-pity. We loving pity party more than anything. I asked a friend of mine, who's my Ghanaian friend, Kweku. He was saying that did you see what your Suarez, because he knows that I love Suarez. Did you see what your Suarez said? I said, Charlie, Suarez did not do anything. Your Asamoah Gyan that missed the penalty, it did not apologize to you for missing the penalty. A penalty was awarded. So what you're saying is somebody run over your dog. Person was arrested, sent to jail, and he comes back. You're saying, and your dog did not die. Okay. Your dog had a broken leg. You now have the chance to take the dog to the vet and go and treat the dog. You took the dog and you say you are a vet. You gave the dog the wrong injection and the dog died. You're not saying the person that hit the dog that have been sent to jail, after I come back from jail, should come and apologize to you. Hello, you killed your dog. That's true. That's very true. You give your dog an overdose and kill the dog. So
even if you didn't kill your dog, so far the person has been punished, it's automatically out of the equation.
It's out of the equation. Come and apologize for what? And then again, in football, I saw something that people need to know. The rule of football is do anything you can to win. Did Maradona come to apologize for hand of God? Argentina won the World Cup that year. Okay, so do anything you can. The hand of Thierry Henry against Ireland, did he come to apologize? No. So I don't understand all this. So Suarez should apologize. Suarez should come on, get out of my front. Apologize to well. Pity party doesn't work here. Okay, so Ghana are doing well. They should beat Uruguay. It's not for revenge. They should beat Uruguay and qualify and progress. But this same Uruguay that they are underrated. You know the irony of this conversation? Suarez might still come again and score the goal that denied Ghana a chance of going forward. See, life is funny. When you're busy talking of, oh, revenge, 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 you hype this generation into revenge. You kill my father, I want to kill. Not be everything be Chinese film. Oh. I don't see Chinese film where the boys not die. Oh. The Way of Kung Fu. I am the title of the movie. The boy come to revenge his father, his mother, and his uncle. The boss still kill him. The boss not die. Oh. Not be every time. Oh. Remember when we were watching the Avengers? Thanos not die for one. He snap a finger, everybody disappear.
Yeah.
Now Joro they do, they can't use time machine, bring people come back. You can normally as snap that finger, they don't evaporate.
True.
So now everything both they die. Suarez is still here. Suarez and Cavani might decide, okay, this is a game where we just show our what, and then everything just changes. I don't think that Ghana should be going to look for apology. Ghana should say, we've got a game to play, we've got our qualification in our hands, and we played very well in this tournament. We deserve to go through. And then they go there and do whatever they want to do. Okay? So because sometimes where both don't agree that. Okay? If Cyborg was a boss, you know that nothing they do happen. Hey, Remila Cordoni say boss not agree that. I would like to watch that one. So let's look at the fixtures for today as we are nearing 15 more minutes to go. Let's look at the fixtures for today. What is your possible outcome for all the game today? Ghana versus Uruguay, South Korea versus Portugal, Cameroon. And we seem to be forgetting that part. Cameroon versus Brazil, and then Serbia, Switzerland. Over to you.
I'm going to start with Serbia, Switzerland because both have.
Starting from the bottom, now we're here.
I don't know. I started feeling that Drake vibes on Wednesday too. But I'm going to start with Serbia.
Why were you feeling on Wednesday?
Drake vibes. I was from those Drake vibes. I was like, Drake. I was just thinking of something. Drake and 21 Savage released an album where they were just literally dissing everybody they didn't like. And I was like, are you kidding me? Is this Drake that yesterday was singing like a normal person?
Was a bad boy.
Exactly. And now he just traces of everybody because of too much money. I was like, all right.
You have a 720 million private jet.
That guy has a basketball court in his home, a full basketball court.
You can misbehave.
So I'm gonna start with Serbia, Switzerland. I feel both teams have their destiny in their hand. Switzerland, the moment they win, it's all for Cameroon. So Serbia too, if they can win, there's a possibility that they can usurp Cameroon as well, regardless of what that. So I think Serbia, Switzerland, someone is gonna come out winners because they know it's not a game for.
All that Switzerland need is a win.
Yeah, all that Switzerland need.
It doesn't matter what happens in the Cameroon game. Switzerland just win, and they are 6 points.
They are 6 points.
And that does that not put Brazil in a place where they say, okay, yeah, we have a +3 goal advantage. But what if Switzerland go and win 5-0? They will top their group.
Of course.
And so that now put Brazil in a place where worst case scenario, let's play for a draw. But because they're playing, they most likely will play reserve players. Those guys will say, we deserve to start.
100%.
Let's mess this Cameroonian up. Okay, there.
I feel Switzerland, Serbia, there's going to be a winner there because Serbia know they can qualify just the same way Mexico surprisingly defeated Saudi Arabia because they know we can qualify.
What's a surprise?
Surprise.
Mexico beating Saudi Arabia was a surprise. Who the hell is Saudi Arabia?
So far you can take on the Almighty.
I beg. Okay.
So next up we're gonna go to South Korea, Portugal. Ronaldo wants to equal Eusebius' record, I think. He's just one goal away from it, if I'm not mistaken. And also he's still looking for hair of God, if that's the new thing that he wants to come in now. But Cristiano Ronaldo and the likes of the Portugal team, surely they want to go for a win. Sakao there surely want to push his team for a win. South Korea themselves will not like to exit the tournament with a whole nothing to show for without a fight. So there's going to be a whole lot. But I think Portugal are going to come out on tops eventually. Then Cameroon taking on Brazil. Brazil are going to field second squad most likely. But second squad is as lethal as anything possible. When you have Bruno Guimaraes, Anthony, Richarlison, who is neither in first squad nor second team. And then you have a Gabriel Jesus, which you believe is going to score against your beloved Cameroon, though. But I feel Cameroon are not going to go down. They're not just going to go down. But Brazil, in the end, like I said yesterday, defensive-wise, Cameroon are just going to lose. Because the moment Cameroon can expose that defense, when you have Abubakar, whose brain has been machined towards GOAL, there's nothing that can happen. But I think that defense is going to let them down eventually. Then the game for the ages, Ghana taking on Uruguay. The pick of the bunch. I feel Ghana are gonna win that game because of everything that's surrounded around it. But don't underestimate Uruguay. Uruguay they're not gonna just fall Yakata and just leave that game for Ghana. it's going to be the most interesting game to watch for this tournament. And I don't really like the feeling of the round of 16 coming immediately after the round. I think there should have been like a gap, everybody see Qatar again, first of all. But it doesn't happen that way. So Netherlands are going to take on USA. Would have done the whole weekend, but sticking today, these 4 games, I think Ghana are going to defeat Uruguay. Brazil are going to win Cameroon eventually. Switzerland, Serbia, sure is going to be winner from that one. Portugal, South Korea. I feel Portugal also are going to win that one.
Okay. What are the possible surprises that we expect to see today?
The possible surprises we can expect to see. The moment Uruguay go ahead, chances are they can win that game. Very, very. That's just one of the possible surprises for me. South Korea, Portugal. South Korea can still win, regardless of me saying Portugal will win. So,
let me play a devil's advocate fixtures for you. Ghana needs a draw or a win to go through, right?
Yeah.
They need a draw. If they get a draw and Korea doesn't win, they might go through, right? Now, how about it flips like this? Uruguay beats Ghana by a goal to nothing.
Yeah.
Korea beats Portugal by 3 goals to nothing. Ghana and Uruguay out of the tournament.
Yeah, that's very, very. Let me ask you a question. Antagonist or protagonist?
Protagonist.
You like protagonist?
Yeah.
Nah. As much as I don't like action movies, I don't like the protagonist. They always come with this idea that's not really my style. Well,
because antagonists sometimes are reactive.
They're reactive.
Yeah. I like to be a protagonist because it gives me the chance to already give you opportunity to plan anything. You know that okay, this guy will not even take that shit. Naturally in my life, I'm a protagonist. Like you come around me, you already know what I stand for, what I am. You don't have the room. I don't give second chances to people, right? So you just have to know that with me. What's the whole antagonist thing? Antagonist does sometimes comes like he's an oppressor, he's a sliming person. Nah. In football, I want to be the protagonist. Like I really want to be the guy who dictate the pace, the tone of the game. Like in this group now, Portugal are the protagonists. Whatever happens, they have qualified. Now nothing is going to change. The only difference is their position, whether they'll be first or second.
Yeah.
But qualified, they've qualified. You want to be in that kind of position. You want to be safe. Brazil, the same thing. Brazil can also be second. So Switzerland goes and wins 6 goals to nothing, and Cameroon goes and beat Brazil. Brazil goes to second, but they've qualified. But I'm just saying that this whole revenge, people don't understand that Uruguay are also planning something. They're also thinking to themselves, what gives these Ghanaians the right to think there is a revenge to take? What gives them? I mean, this is the kind of game where your president will even call you and say, yeah, we know that you've not done well in this tournament, but don't let these Africans beat you. Don't let these Ghana people beat you. As a matter of fact, I will give you guys 1 Rolls Royce each. Well, Uruguay doesn't have that kind of money anyway. But I'll give you guys 1 plot of land that's easy to give if you make sure Ghana does not qualify from this group. And then again, the funny thing, that's actually can happen. Because if Portugal goes and beats Korea, then Portugal goes to 9 points, and Uruguay beats Ghana, Uruguay qualifies again.
Yeah, 4 points.
So it's not as if it is all over for Uruguay. Uruguay are not really going to fall down and die. But I'm just in love with Ghana right now, and I want Ghana to win. But this is me playing all the cards and say, yeah, this can happen, that can happen. It's a possibility. As an African, obviously, we support an African. But then remember that Uruguay is from South America. And so I don't have that bias against them like I have against European countries. Okay, so let's see what the guys here have written. Lord Mayor says, I heard Onana is being called back to the team after one official from the government called Ito and Song. Yeah, I heard that, but I also heard that Onana is not interested in coming back. Lord Mayor, I say Cameroon is coming back home or nothing come out. Okay, let's see. Remember, say, can Cameroon do a Japan? Time will tell. Time will tell on that one. We don't have much. Do you have any other thing that you want to add on the show today? I think we've reached the end of the road.
Well, you know, the round of 16 is tomorrow, so obviously nobody's going to be here.
No, we're not going to be here.
Yeah, so it's just good.
We'll be back on Monday. So let's talk about the games that will come up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me look at the fixtures. It's kind of like we're easy to cry now.
Yeah,
Because
as it's in front of my screen, it's just
we might also see penalties at the end of the day. There are 2 games tomorrow: Netherlands, USA, 4 p.m., and Argentina, Australia. Another thing I like about this World Cup is the fact that I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to watch any football game.
True.
That's so sweet. Okay, so Netherlands, USA.
As it looks. Every game in this round of 16 is as it looks on the outside is
Why are you closing your eyes?
99% high is gonna go. Look at the fixtures: Netherlands, USA, Argentina, Australia, France, Poland, England, Senegal, Japan, Croatia.
Let's stick with tomorrow first.
Yeah, but as they all look, it's just how
as they all look. Meaning what now? What's your
meaning
take?
that Netherlands are most likely to get better. USA, that's how as it looks. Then Argentina, Australia, come on, Australia. They can't. Argentina might have been out of their group despite the shambolic performances, but Australia are not going to be that team to really hold them down.
Are you saying that they will just run over Australia?
I'm not saying that.
Well, I think for me, Argentina in the game against Mexico and Poland showed that they can keep the ball longer than any other team in this World Cup. And like I always say in football, the first job is to make sure you make the ball your own. That's the first job. Then the second job, which is the most important job, is to put the ball in the net. Because you can also keep possession for 90 minutes and you don't score. As a Wenger team had all of that. You can keep the possession for 90 minutes and one Birmingham or one Wigan Athletic or one Middlesbrough will just come, score 1 goal or 2, and then you'll be beaten. So for them, first job, Argentina have mastered that. I just think that the only problem I have with Argentina, there are 2 actually. The white men are not cross-pollinating. That's 1. 2, there's too much focus on passing the ball to Messi. Sure. And I think Lautaro Martinez needs to come with his A game. He's a good scorer. Should be putting the ball in the net. Too many. They create the chances. They keep the possession. But then when it comes to return on investment, return on those possession and those chances created, they don't give as much as they do. And Australia is a team that can soak pressure. One thing that will keep happening with Argentina is the way they play. Either the referee or VAR or the assistant referee will always give them penalties. And it will make people think that, oh, they are rigging the match, Argentina. No, it's the way they play. The way they play makes, but I also think that Argentina need to change one little thing in their way of play, in their attacking. There's a little dynamics that needs to change. That is how they cross the ball into the box. All the teams that are coming to this World Cup, apart from Japan, are taller. Japan and Korea are taller than the Argentine players. So if you keep lumping the ball up, 50-50, the chances are that the opposition will get the ball more. But if you cross the ball waist level or chest level or cut back, you have a chance of winning. If you look at the goal, the first goal that Argentina scored, it was a cutback that led to the goal. In the whole first time, they were crossing the ball, and the defense of Poland was just having a field day, just that they can't keep the ball to themselves, like the fire was on the ball. So if Argentina learn how to cut the ball back and then maybe low cross, the thing with a low cross is your opponent can even divert the ball into their own net and consider an own goal. But when you keep lumping the ball up, you give them a proper position to anticipate the ball and clear the ball properly. I just hope that they will learn from that and know what the right way to go about it. For the Netherlands, USA, the thing about Team USA is USA. The pride, the workman-like attitude would always make them want to go. But I think I'll go with you on this one. Netherlands are not really an exceptional team, but I just think that they would win this game. Guys, don't go and bet to say that for Tokamo. I don't encourage betting the national teams because anything is possible. So this note, I will say bye-bye today. We extended it by 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes is over. Thank you very much for your time, everyone who joined in on the show, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on the radio. Thank you very much to Precious Amasue as well for calling in and giving us his professional and expert view on which team have wasted the golden generation. And somebody put it this way that I like. One of the guys who sent in the message said, England have wasted 3 golden generation. For me, it is 4, because if I'm going to add the 1990, Italian 90, or the Mexico 86 combined, it's 4 or 5. And he said that Holland wasted 2 golden generation, Belgium 1. So England takes the trophy of shame for that one, and we'll sit down. Remilako says Australia fit do Saudi was beaten twice shy. That's not going to happen. Okay, there's a story of a guy who got beaten twice in 5 weeks by a poisonous spider on his penis. And, you know, I'm not asking myself, the person who sucked out the poison the first time will be saying, okay, you went, and it's like you enjoyed the sucking out, right? So you went, you better die there. I don't think Argentina will sit back and allow Australia to do what Saudi Arabia did to them. And if you look at the game they played against Mexico and Poland, they seem to get better in the second half of the game. So in the first half, they stretch you, they size you up, and they stretch you very well. In the second half, they find the goal. They just might not be a team that will score 7 goals like Spain in a single game, but I mean, you have to be in their 18-yard box. You have to hold possession to be able to beat them. Again, Australia, a team who are very good with the counter-attack. But then, let's see what goes on tomorrow. Before we get to tomorrow, we wish Ghana and Cameroon the best of the luck today, as it is. For you guys, I wish you guys the very best of weekend. Whatever it is you're doing aside the World Cup, have fun and be the very best of who you're created to be. Benedict, any last words as we go?
Have a lovely weekend. Make sure you stay at Zima. Please do follow me on Instagram at BenedictTech1. Thank you.
All right, guys. My name is Idafe Matthew Sagana, and I love you guys. Let's do this again on Monday. Until then, stay blessed and be the very, very best of who you are created to be.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.